This is Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.
Welcome everybody to Immigrant Podcast. Today we have Thomas Philip. Thomas arrived into Canada 3 years ago and he came as a student. Welcome to the show, Thomas.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me, Robin.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So basically, I was born and raised in India. My dad and mom are still there. So it's a southern part of India. So it's a state called Kerala.
Okay.
And I was raised there. Pretty much I did my schooling in Kerala itself. And till seventh grade, I was in one of the place called Wayanad. It's like a nature scenic spot. And then from there, my parents transferred me to another school in another district. So you know how India is, right? India is the second most populated country in the world. And when we say that we are coming from India, people always think that it's from one part of India, but it's entirely different.
It's a whole world.
It's a whole different world. Trust me. So different languages, different barriers and things like that. So till 12th grade, I was like living with my mom because my dad used to work in another city. Till 12th grade, I was fortunate enough to live with my parents. So after that, after my high school, I got the chance to do my university in Bangalore. So pretty much most of the people know where exactly Bangalore is. Like Bangalore is like one of the metropolitan cities in India. And
Right.
it's like a tech hub. So all international companies and
You were living with your parents until 12th grade. You left the
yes.
house. You went to the university. And now, Thomas, before we continue, let's try to explain our podcast audience how the education system works in India, because you actually said that you were lucky enough to actually end up being in the same city as some of your best friends. But it's not really like here or some other countries where you apply to university and bam, you get accepted. It's easy. I know the process in India because there's so many people is a little bit different, and that not everyone gets accepted to the universities.
Oh yeah, that's 100% what you said is right because one thing is that the 12th grade marks, that's what we call it over there. It's like 11th grade and 12th grade.
Right.
So pretty much the 12th grade marks depends on that is how you're going to get into university, like which university you can apply into because they have a cutoff score that you're supposed to get. And with that cutoff score is how you can get into the university that you would like to go and also the courses that you can choose, right? You can apply. That's another thing. But you have to wait. You have to wait because it's like, as you said, it's like a long process because since I was going outside my state, so just like over here, what we say as province and Greater Toronto region. So instead of saying as a province, we say as a state over there in
Right.
India. So I had to leave my state, my hometown, and I was going to another state, which was like really close by. It's like we share the borders too. So it's like that. And I had to go there, but it was so different. The language barrier is one big thing. Before that, like I had the option to come to Canada when after I was done with my 12th grade because my extended family was here. Could have taken that, but I kind of took my brother as my role model. So he told me just get a little bit of life experience.
In your
And
home country.
yeah, in your home country because you lack in that, my boy. That was what he said. What he was like directly telling me was like, yo, you lack in this. So you better go and experience what life is exactly out of this. And then from there, you will understand what the path that you had to travel and which way you should go.
I believe that was a very good advice. And
Oh,
as you said, it worked out. But, you know, you said something. I love languages, but I also know how difficult it could be to go to a country or even, as you said, a state where you do not understand people. Also, it's very important. I love having this conversation with you because you say India and people think it's just India. It's a country. But every state speaks a different language. And probably within the same state, there's actually even different languages. We, outside of India, believe that everyone speaks Hindi, but that's not the
Oh,
case.
no, no.
So you went from your state to a different one. What do you speak?
My mother tongue is called Malayalam. So it's a tongue twisting language. So it's
And
Malayalam.
and the town you or the state you went to speaks what?
It's called Kannada.
But
It's entirely different. So
but
our
you speak
main,
Hindi too, right?
I
Right.
can understand Hindi a little bit, and I can also speak a bit, not like a lot, because I only learned Hindi till 8th grade, because it was not a compulsory language for us to keep learning that, and you have to know Hindi in order to survive, because the state where I was coming from, it's either my mother tongue or my or English, because we kind of like use English more often because it's the main, like the main medium of language, right? Like the
Right.
communication.
So Thomas,
But
what did you study in the university there?
I did a bachelor's of science in economics, maths, and statistics. So yeah,
That's a
it's a
mouthful.
triple main. Yeah, it's a triple main.
And after your graduation, then you decided to come to Canada. You took on the
If you,
chance to come to Canada.
I graduated. Like I was finally I finally graduated.
Let's move forward. And how did Thomas come to Canada? Again, you came as a student. What did you come to study? Are you still in that process? Let us know a little bit about that transition there from, I believe you were working in India to then coming to Canada as a student.
So yeah, the year 2017 was when I graduated from university. I went back home after my graduation. So I told my dad, see, this is what I want to do. Let me go and learn German instead of wasting my time over here.
Right.
I'll go and learn like at least 2 levels of German. So I know that, yeah, maybe I can try my luck to get to like, Europe or like Germany or any place like that, right? So I decided that, and I went to one of the institutes. So it's same thing like Goethe Institute. It's for German students and for immigrants or who are planning to go to Germany. So I kind of did my 2 levels over there, A1 and A2. That's what they say. So it was a good experience. When I was doing my second level is when I understood that, okay, even if I want to go to Germany, my chances might not be that big of staying back in the same country that I wanted to stay back.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like my cousins were here. So the best option, and always I see like Canada was more like welcoming people, like,
more open. Yes.
more open, and like, just you have the option. So if you're really ready to work hard, then you will have an option to, to stay back or like, work for a couple of, just a couple of years and then decide what you want to do. Right. So
right.
I was like, yeah, maybe that sounds more interesting, more, that caught my attention, because I know that in Germany, I won't be able to stay back. Once I'm done with the course, I have to come back. So I decided, okay, maybe Canada it is, like, and then I went to a consultancy. I started inquiring about what I'm supposed to do to get to Canada, like the paperwork and stuff, because trust me, there's a lot of paperwork to be done in order to come to Canada to learn or to study. And then it was more like, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely go for that. And I started like, kind of the papers that needed to be done. So IELTS was one part of it. Then getting in touch with the college was another part of it. Then I did my paperwork. It took me at least 1 year to get my paperwork ready
to come to Canada.
Yep. So from the moment you start applying to colleges, because I didn't want to go and do it in a university, because this was something that I was doing on myself. So I didn't have money, first of all. And I took loan from the bank. I paid my fees over here. I paid my, the GIC fund. That's like a guaranteed investment fund that is required to come to Canada. I also paid that. And then I did my paperwork. Luckily, God's grace, I got accepted to Niagara College in like Niagara. That was my first destination.
In Toronto?
In Niagara Falls.
Oh, that's beautiful
Niagara.
there.
Yeah,
That's a
I was
very
like,
nice location to go to.
I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Like that's amazing. That might be my destiny or my destination to go. Luckily, I got accepted. Even the wait period, you have no idea. Like every single day, I used to look at my email. Like, did they approve my permits, the papers? Did they approve my visa? It's like a lottery ticket that you wish that you will get it in a day, but it's not gonna get it. Like it's like you have to wait patiently to get the papers
It builds
all
your
ready.
patience a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%. So
Right.
once I was done with my paperwork, the IELTS, like the English language test and application process, then I started working for my brother's friends because they were like entrepreneurs, so they had their own businesses and stuff. One of the company was it's like a newly startup. It's a startup company. It was only like 3 years or something that they were into business. They were doing pretty good too. And they had so the two categories that I worked was B2B and B2C.
So you went to Niagara College?
Niagara College, yeah.
Did you get into a business program?
Yes, international business management. So
Okay. And that's what you're doing right now?
no, I finished that course. Like I came in 2018, right? So I started out with a college because it's more like a post-grad diploma.
Right.
So the thing is that if you do 2 years of course over here, as in like a study over here, you get a 3-year stay back to work and get that experience.
So you're in that process right now?
I'm done with my studies. Like
You're done with the studies, but you are now,
right now
within that 3 years process.
Yes.
Where you can stay.
On the 3-year process.
And that's where you can actually submit your papers to apply for the residency, correct?
Yes, if I'm eligible enough. So that's another whole big story, right? Eligibility criteria is another big thing. So right now that's done. The first course was international business management. And all of a sudden when I came here, it was all different. Like totally you're coming into a new country, right? New country is like, wow, this is not what I expected. It's all different. Like,
and you had never been to Canada before you came?
No, never. So this was my first international destination.
So you came as a student, and I do understand that when you come as a student, you also get about 20 working hours that you're allowed to put in per week.
Yeah.
Right? Did you find a job?
The first thing is to get a place to stay. That is the first and foremost thing, right? You need to have like a roof over your head. So
of course.
I was literally having my luggage, as in my bags, with me when I went to the college, because that was like an orientation day that you meet your peers or maybe meet new friends or make new friends or people. So I was literally there with a bag, with a duffel bag, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be weird and awkward, but let's see. So when there, it was a good first start of the day. I found a room, but the landlord was, I think the previous tenant was moving out, so he was just getting the room prepared and stuff. And then I had to stay at one of my brother's friend's place because she was also here at that time in Canada. So I told her like I'm basically homeless right now because I don't have a place to stay. Can I crash at your place like, for a night? And she was like welcoming. So she told me like, it's fine, let's just come over here, like we'll manage and stuff. And then I think I left with them for a day or two, and then I got my room to myself. I went there, went for my first day of class. Getting a bus was not easy. Like I thought that the transit system would be a bit more better, but then I realized that it depends on the cities and depends on the places where you stay, right? And so once I missed my bus multiple times, and I had to walk another 2, 3, 4 kilometers to get another bus.
You had to get a bike.
I wish, man. Because I was like getting with that system, the traffic system. Even the lanes are different over here, right? Like not in India. India is like all to the right. Over here, it's all to the left. So I was like analyzing and learning how it is. how people are driving over here. So because the first thing I have to get my license, I knew that the moment I stepped down, I was like, yeah, this country, car is not a luxury. Car is like a necessity. You need to
It
have a
is.
car to
It is.
travel around.
It is.
So that was my first analysis when I got here. I was like, yeah, if you have a car, you're blessed. You will get more job, more opportunities, more things like you can do, right?
Correct.
So the first job was not easy. I was like the first day of school, it went by so good, and I prepared my resumes and stuff. Everything was in place. Though there was a outlet mall which is really close to my college itself, so I started going there, handing out resumes, following up with them, being like, "Yo, do you have any part-time job and that and this?" Went by through the whole stores, gave them, nothing worked out. Came back, went to other stores, tried giving it, nothing worked out. Like they were like, yeah, we'll keep the resume, we'll give you a call. Actually, we hired like more people right now. If there's any opportunity, they'll give me a call. Nothing worked out, but that's when I was like, yeah, man, God is great. Like God's grace. I was on my way back home, and then I reached the bus stop, and my home was literally behind a grocery store and behind a complex, like a
Okay.
whole shopping complex. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just give it a try over here too. So, Giant Tiger?
Yes.
Yes. So Giant Tiger, they had a store right over there. So I was like, maybe I'll give it a try over here. It would be great if I get a job over there because it's literally behind my home and like, I can just walk. I don't have to take a bus.
Right.
So I just went in, had my resume, like a hopeless little kid. I was like running around and ended up seeing this one person who was like arranging his items over there, and which turned out to be the owner of the store. He was the owner. He was the owner of the store. I started talking to him. He saw my name, and literally from that moment is when I realized that my name is like not a common name that they would see for an Indian. They didn't know that
Oh,
I was an Indian.
definitely.
So I was like, yeah, what's your name? So my name is like, yeah, my name is Thomas Phillips. So I was like, okay. So I started talking to them. I was like, he kind of saw me as a whole personality, like, yeah, the way I was talking and stuff. Like he saw my resume and stuff, and he was like, yeah, that's great. Like, he introduced himself. He said that I'm the owner of the store, that and this, and then he gave me he shook my hand. I was like, yeah, you're hired. You can start from tomorrow onwards. I'm like, wow. I
Good.
did not expect that to happen.
Well, as you
But I
said,
was
God
like,
is
yo,
good.
yeah, God's grace, man. Trust me. Like it was literally behind my home, and I was like, wow, this is great. Like at least that was my first. Like I was so happy. I went back home. I called my dad and mom. I was like, oh, I got a job. Now everything is okay. Like I'll be able to do it. So I think I found that job within a week when I
Okay,
arrived.
that's
So
good.
I was like, I would consider myself lucky enough to get that because I know a lot of other people was not so lucky as I was, like in finding a job.
But you kept pushing. And you kept going to places. You
Oh yeah,
kept bringing in your CVs, talking to people. So you put in the effort. You put in the time. Something was
yeah.
going to
That
show up. It was going to happen. It was just a matter of time.
because for other people, like even the other friends that I met in like in the same class, like they were still in that phase, transitioning from India to Canada. They were still in that phase, so they were not like going in giving out resumes, and they were like, yeah, they will take their time and stuff. But I was like, no, I cannot wait. I have to start
I need
working because
this.
I have to. Yeah, I need to balance my life right now because the first thing was that I got the job, which was great. It was a 20 hours. I wouldn't say, even if it's not like 20 hours, it was like 16, 18, but that gave me a home. Like I was able to pay my rent and also was able to adjust my food and stuff. And food was another big factor because I started ordering food over here, and within a week, I understood that this is not going so great.
This is not going to work.
It's never gonna work because I was like, as I was saying, like I was like a mama's boy. Like she always used to feed me really good food, and I was lazy enough to not learn cooking before I left India. Like I was like, yeah, I was lazy around. I was like, yeah, I'll take my time, that and this. My mom really pushed me, and my mom always asked me like, yo, why don't you learn this so that you can feed yourself when you go abroad or something, right? There won't be no one over there to cook food for you. I was
Right.
like, yeah, it's fine. I'll take my time.
I
But
just
within
order.
1 week, yeah, within 1 week when I saw my account, I was like, yeah, this is not going great. Like, I'm pretty sure it's not going great because money is going by so fast when I order food and like when I
Right.
get that. Like,
Right.
so,
It's not
so I was like,
India, right? It's
oh, it's not
different.
India. So I was like, I stopped ordering from that moment onwards and started my cooking journey. So I was like, nah, I never cooked in my life. I only cooked like what, noodles and those kind of stuff, like easy stuff. I didn't even know how to break an egg, like,
Oh
crack
my
the egg or
goodness.
make an omelet or make
But
whatever
you know
so it
what?
is, right?
We live in a great time now. We have internet. We have social media, and when it comes to cooking, you go to
Oh
YouTube
yeah.
and you can do whatever you want. And
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you, like I'm on YouTube probably daily. I'm vegan, so I have to prepare a lot of things for myself. I'm the only vegan person at home, so I'm
Oh
on
wow.
YouTube. I'm on my phone or YouTube basically daily, and I've been coming up with different dishes and different recipes.
Recipes and stuff.
And,
Oh yeah,
and you
that's
know
great.
what has saved me as well? An air fryer. I love my air fryer. Like I can do whatever in there. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's quick. It's delicious. You can do whatever you want in there. It's a lifesaver.
I've heard a lot about air fryers. My friends used to tell me, yo, this thing literally saves your life. I'm like, yes, I know that.
Yes.
But I was like,
So
yeah, that took me a while, like to learn cooking. The
so
first dish
you're a
that I
good cook
made,
now?
I wouldn't say I'm a good cook yet, but I'll
You're
get
still
there. I'll
alive.
get there. I'm still alive. I'm still alive, living and breathing. So for sure I'll get there.
So moving forward, what is Thomas Phillip doing today? I heard
So
that
I
you have some
finished
project. I heard that you have some projects coming up. Maybe you don't want to talk about us, but what is Thomas doing today?
later. So I finished my course in 2020, last year. So I did my second course in a course in Waterloo and Conestoga College. So that was event management. So I tried for two courses. That's like logistics and like event management, but I kind of got into event management.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I was fascinated with events and like, entertainment industry as such, right? Like,
So
so I was like, yeah, maybe I can
business.
just get that.
You come from business,
Business
economics, and
management,
now
yes.
event management.
Yeah, I wanted to branch it out. I want to expand my chances and opportunities, right?
Okay.
More so, I wanted to improve my personality, like the way I talk to people, or maybe like even for improve my stage fright. Like I was not like a good person to do presentation and stuff, but eventually I did that. The course was amazing, great. 2020, COVID hit, and the first industry that came down was events.
Events, exactly.
So I was like, shit, I didn't expect this to happen, but it was a rough time for me because that was down. Everything was down. So I graduated. I stick with I also got a job over here in a grocery store. So I stick with that like for a while. And my papers expired in July 2020, but it's more like a study permit, right?
Right.
That was expired, but the government was giving us like government was telling that if you have applied for your work permit extension, you're legally entitled to work full time because you're on the applied status, and it's not because of me, because they never took my biometrics when I came to Canada, when my batch was coming to Canada.
Okay.
Since the biometrics was there and COVID was here, they were like, yeah, we cannot do biometrics now because COVID is happening and that and this. So my papers were delayed. So I was not like I think the bookkeeper told me you won't be able to work. But I told them like the government says I can work. Like, so what is the problem? Like then they didn't allow me to work. So I had to come out of it. I was struggling for like 2 months, 2 to 3 months. And luckily the government was giving the CERB, right? So it was like, when I checked my eligibility, I was eligible to get CERB. So I took that.
Okay.
I was able to manage my life. And somehow something happened, like God's grace. I was same with my brother. Like I was telling my brother to my brother's best friend. He works for Amazon, so in India.
Okay.
So, and he's in a good senior position right now. So I told him this was the case, and he referred me to a position over here. So right now I work for Amazon Logistics. I'm
In Ottawa, right?
not in Ottawa, in Waterloo, in Cambridge, Kitchener.
Waterloo is a great place. I've heard that Google's there. It's kind of
Everything is there.
it's
Tech
kind of
city of Canada.
yeah, it's kind of Berkeley or one of these huge
Yes.
techie cities.
I would say
It's
it's
probably
more like
the techie city of Canada, correct?
Yeah, it's more like a upcoming, a tech, upcoming futuristic city is what I would say. Like it's more like a futuristic city, right?
It's
But,
funny, that you said that you're working for Amazon, because I used to work for Amazon here in Montreal.
oh wow, that's great.
But you work for Amazon fulfillment centers, logistics. I used to work for Amazon AWS.
Oh, that's web services, right?
Correct.
Great. How did you like it?
Liked it a lot, but what I have to say, and this goes for everyone that's going to be listening to the podcast, is even when it's a big company, but the market you're in is small, there's not a lot of growth. Like I left Amazon about 4 years ago. It hasn't really grown in the number of people that much. Probably 20 more people since I left. And
Gotcha.
to me, growth, professional development is very important. But my time there, the company's great. I was able to travel to the States many times. I was able to go to Japan for a couple of weeks with Amazon. So it was a very good experience. And I still have very good friends from there. One of the best ones, it's Indian. He just had a baby. And we talk a lot. I had the chance to visit his home. And it was the first time I was ever in an Indian home, right? So
wow.
It was interesting. I love the way he sees life and everything, and I love the food too. I don't like spicy that much, but they took care of me. It was not that spicy.
Great, yeah.
So you're with Amazon now?
Yes.
And through all that process, coming as a student, still kind of going through the student work permits and going through that process before you get the residency. What do you recommend? What's your advice to, let's say, Indians, let's say all those who are out there who only chance to come to Canada is a student? What do you advise them?
I would say, like, just don't be scared. Don't be scared, because life goes on. You'll face a lot of situations, to be honest, like not so favorable situations.
Right.
You might end up in a lot of troubles when you come in, and also troubles as such, like your parents won't be there, people won't be there. Might or might not be, your employers might be great, might not be great. You might have to work on an extreme, work environment, maybe not, but just keep grinding, keep moving forward, like, because things will fall into place. Because for
you have to be open. You have to be open to
big time
anything that's going to probably come your way, because as you've been saying throughout this podcast, it's a different country. It's a different experience. It's a different, even if we speak it, it's a different language, different cultures, too many things that are different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even I would say, like, for people who are coming from India or any part of the world, I would say, not only just India, you made sure that you are here, like you got here, right? Like you went through the whole process. If you can go through that whole process, I'm pretty sure you can go through the life over here too. It might be hard, but you will get adjusted. Don't let people judge you. Don't let people judge you on the basis of your color, the way you speak, and don't degrade yourself. Let's just try to improve yourself, because that's something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have faced, even I have faced when I was over here. Like people used to judge me with the color, and that still exists, but that's there everywhere. Even if you go to any part of the world, it's the same.
Even
So,
in our home countries, we
oh yeah,
have it
big
in
time.
my country where most people are black, and you have it in India, and Indians kind of have a standard color. I mean, it happens everywhere, as you said. It's not something that only happens in predominantly white countries. It happens
Oh
everywhere.
no, it happens everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Like has been a deep-rooted issue or problem that still exists, right? So, but just don't even bother. Like if you hear that through one ear, just let it out through the other, because these maybe those kind of people who are just judging you on that basis, right? You're not going to see them every single time, like, right?
Right,
You just have to, yeah. You came here. It's not because of them. It's because you wanted to come here and you wanted to learn and live your life, right? You want to
right.
work hard. So if you made it over here, I would say just go for it. Like,
It's funny that you say this because this morning I have another YouTube channel called Habitually Ever After, and I publish a video on a weekly basis, Saturday nights, Sunday mornings. And actually the topic of that video that I'm releasing tonight, it's actually ignore the naysayers. Just keep going. Forget about people say. They don't matter. And most of the time when you have naysayers in your life, it's because you're doing a lot more than what they're doing. So what you're saying, it's true. Just keep going. If they say something on one ear, just let it go through the other one. Ignore them. The
big
future is
time.
bright. You just need to keep putting in the work, grinding, putting the effort.
Exactly. That's what I would say, because even I would say, like, don't limit yourself, because what I've seen and observed in a lot of people over here, even from the people from my own country, right? When they speak English, some of them won't understand, or maybe they might just, what are you trying to say? Because that will let them down. They're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, did I mess up, or did I say something wrong, or is my pronunciation right? Don't let other people's judgment affect you, because trust me, my language was not like this before, like when I came, and I'm still improving. I'm not saying I'm 100%. Like
You're doing a great
I'm
job,
trying. Like,
Thomas. You're doing a great job. I love it. Hey, and Thomas, you know what? Something that we really want to do in the show before we end every podcast, we want you to invite people to subscribe to Immigrant, the podcast, in your own language, in your mother tongue.
oh yeah,
So go ahead, take it.
Yeah, I can pretty much try for that. Like, I can get you, like, even if you want to talk to other people and stuff, like, hey, you can know the difference, right? You can know the struggles that they are going through even now, right?
No, for sure. I would love to, but yeah, go ahead and say it in your own language. Invite people to the program, to the podcast, and to subscribe to the channel.
So, in my own language?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, goes like this, man. Like, so, നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും ഇത് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ just ഒരിക്കലും പേടിക്കരുത്. എപ്പോഴും ശ്രമിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. അതും ഈ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ് ഇമിഗ്രന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടി ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർ പോകുന്ന സ്ട്രഗിൾസ് എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാനും അതിനെ സഹായിക്കാനും ഉള്ളതായിരിക്കും. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇതൊരു നല്ലൊരു റെഫറൻസ് ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എടുക്കാനും പറ്റുമായിരിക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ട് ദയവായി ഇതിനെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, ഇതിനെ പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, subscribe ചെയ്യുക, and support the people. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Thomas. It was a great time having you on the show. And to tell you the truth, I think you have so many things to say. And maybe in the future, we're going to have session 2 or episode 2 of this podcast with Thomas again.
Yeah, 100%. Not a problem.
All right. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This was Immigrant Podcast. with Robinson.